Hello, fans and friends. Welcome to AstroKara. As a therapeutic astrologer and mindset coach, I'm here to show you how the archetypes of evolutionary astrology can guide you into real transformation. Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful and mysterious planets in astrology, Pluto. Now, if you've heard other astrologers talk about Pluto as the planet of death, intensity, or transformation, that's only part of the story. In evolutionary astrology, Pluto is way more than that. Pluto is about your soul's journey. It's the part of your chart that shows you where you've come from, the karmic patterns you're carrying, and the lessons your soul is here to evolve in this lifetime. By the end of this video, I want you to see Pluto not as something that's scary, but as a guide, the cosmic mirror that points you to your deepest growth. So let's start with the nature of Pluto. In evolutionary astrology, Pluto is the principle of evolution itself. It's not just a planet, it's a force. It pushes our soul to expand, to transform, and sometimes to be uncomfortable. Pluto represents two types of desire: the desire that leads to growth and transformation, and the desire that resists it. Our patterns, our fears, and our comfort zones that hold us back. It's connected to endings and beginnings. Not literal death necessarily, as the way we understand it as the ending of life itself, but rather cycles. Think of Pluto as the ultimate teacher of life, death, and rebirth. I believe we experience multiple deaths as parts of our egos change as we age and mature and grow. It also shows the unconscious, the parts of ourselves that we don't easily see, yet drive our decisions and experiences. This is the underlying theme that runs deep in the undercurrent of our lives. It's always there, and it can be reflected upon, but it's not always readily seen in the present moment. And then there's power. Pluto confronts us with power, where we try to hold it and control, where we feel powerless, and where we need to surrender. And this power is always related to attachment. I believe our souls draw experiences to us. We desire to merge with something that gives us a sense of power. Think about taking on a new job that maybe gives you a sense of purpose. You have merged with this company, and it provides you a sense of power over your abilities. So at its core, Pluto is the planet that asks, what is my soul really here to evolve through? And what lessons must I face, no matter how challenging? So let's now talk about Pluto as the soul's past. In evolutionary astrology, Pluto is often described as the carrier of past life karma. It's where our soul has unresolved experiences or attachments and things that we're bringing into this life to work through. I recognize that not everyone holds the philosophy of past lives. So think of it this way. Pluto also correlates with DNA. We carry ancestral DNA within our own. And this DNA carries memories and can have energetic attachments of their own. I love this quote by Steffi Wagner. Pain travels through families until someone is ready to feel it. This is another way of understanding the repetition of Pluto's lessons over time. The sign that Pluto is in is considered generational. More on that in a bit. It's the house placement in your own birth chart that shows you where your lessons are concentrated. For example, Pluto in the 7th often points to relationship dynamics. Pluto in the fourth, that's deep ancestral and family conditioning. So when you look at Pluto in your birth chart, you're seeing the core story that your soul is working through in this lifetime. A story that might feel heavy, intense, or even painful at times, but is always purposeful. Pluto isn't just about the past. It's also about the direction of your soul's growth. So how do I see that? One way is looking at the polarity point, the opposite sign and house of your natal or birth placement of Pluto. This shows where your soul is being pulled and the energies that you need to utilize in order to integrate the evolution. Pluto pushes us to release what no longer serves us. False identities, control patterns, these attachments that I've been talking about, so that we can align with our authentic path. And here's the thing, this process often feels intense. Sometimes it feels like life is stripping everything away. But that stripping, that's Pluto at work. It's the soul shedding what it doesn't need so it can step into a more authentic version of itself. Whether you choose to allow it to happen and move in the flow, or resist the necessary changes, this is your free will. Your soul, however, will inevitably bring it back around for you to make a new choice. If this information is resonating with you, please hit the like and consider subscribing to my channel. Share it with someone curious about astrology and soul evolution. And I'd love to hear from you. Drop your Pluto sign and house placement in the comments and tell me how you relate to the lessons that show up in your life. So let's look at Pluto as it operates on a collective level. I mentioned the generational aspect. Every generation is born with Pluto in the same sign, and they carry a collective soul lesson. For example, take Pluto in Libra, often referred to as part of Gen X. This is my generation. For the souls born roughly between 1971 and 1984. My generation is learning about how to be and show up in relationships. What is equality and what is social justice? Pluto in Scorpio, roughly 1984 to 1995, these lessons are more about intimacy, power, and shadow work. Pluto in Sagittarius, roughly 1995 to 2008, is about finding your personal truth, philosophies, and seeking a return to natural order. So Pluto isn't just personal, it's generational, guiding whole groups of souls toward collective evolution. This is why studying Pluto in evolutionary astrology gives insight not into your own soul, but into the patterns that shape society and culture. Pluto recently began its almost 20-year journey through the sign of Aquarius. The souls born now until around 2043 will have this as their natal imprint. We, as prior generations, are interacting with this energy from our own Pluto soul connections. I'll do another series discussing the Pluto generations soon. So to sum this all up, Pluto is the planet of the soul's deepest lessons. It's about our past, illuminating those unconscious patterns that we're evolving through, and it points the way to our future growth. I've presented it here briefly for the sake of simplicity, but this work is not easy. Pluto's lessons are often potent and feel harsh at times. But if we can begin to embrace them, begin to lessen our grip on these attachments, and work in harmony with what our soul is calling us to, we can begin to step into our authentic power, build this transformation, and align with our soul's purpose. If you're looking to go deeper, I've created a full series on Pluto through the houses, where I break down exactly how Pluto works in each area of your chart. You can find the playlist here, and I'll also link it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care of you.